Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Charmed Hard with a Vengeance. Someone pointed out the abbreviation for it, CHWAV, which I didn't realize. So I want to call it Schwab now. We're back to Schwab.
Schwab.
So welcome back to Schwab. And we watched season 1, episode 21, Red Rain. Red rain.
Red rain. You know, can't have a day without red rain. Oh no. Birdemic 2.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking of the Red Sky seasons of Turtles.
Yeah.
So the prophecy to bring the source about still going on, a whole bunch of shit. Some things that were a little bit predictable, but overall, I think decent. Would you say this episode was decent?
I'm saying torn on a few things. I mean, it was very quick with its wiping away certain characters and stuff a little too easily. But
I don't think they quite stuck the landing with a lot of this stuff.
Right. There were some developments, though, I'd say I liked, so there's good and bad in here.
Yeah, it was another thing that it made the episode seem really long because it was just chock full of stuff. And I think there were a lot of things that they've been dinking around on that they just, like, swept away.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that overall, like, there's things that I liked about it. So I would say decent.
They ended it on a note that I was happy enough with. So overall, I guess I'm leaving happy from this episode. So.
Yeah, they saved it near the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
I liked they've been doing these intros a la Supernatural, where the title thing is always, the title card is themed to whatever's going on in the episode, and I like their heart monitor charmed logo.
Right. I like just one thing about, like, the technicality of the source stuff, like the fact all the elders need to be dead and, like, Charity's still alive, and, like, even though they took her powers away, she's still an elder or whatever. It's like, so it's like, you know, the source fire or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, everything here checks out. Like, you got your ceremony all right, but according to these papers, Charity has not been terminated, so we cannot start this whole source rising thing until she's gone. Darn paperwork! They got us!
On Evil Jeopardy, they're like, yeah, we killed all the elders, so let's check with the judges. Hang on a minute. You still got one left. So yeah, they're going after Charity, and including Maggie. Maggie and Harry are looking for her because Parker psychically talks to Maggie through this episode. And
Maggie, I've made a huge mistake. This will never happen again. And then he roofies himself, and then he forgets, and he's like, hey, you know what? I think I will take on the source powers. Oh no, I made a huge mistake. This will never happen again.
And soon Job found himself experiencing what on the street is referred to as a roofie circle.
Parker's in her head, and he's like, you're making us look bad, Maggie. Don't put your hands up. Bite their heads off and put them in the corner with the body. She doesn't, pussy.
We need Venom in here. Be a welcome addition to Charmed.
Venom would be a more likable character than Parker. So I got some problems here. Maggie uses a spell so she can use her powers of empathy to see or feel a memory by touch, which I feel kind of undercuts the whole evil sight thing, which is the same sort of thing.
Right, but I guess it's not as accurate since it turns out she's getting kind of misled using this. which is a plot point later where Macy's upset that she destroyed the needle because she's like, I could have used my evil sight and saw this better than stupid Maggie.
Yeah, I like how quickly she's like, I should have kept all that shit. This evil stuff's way better than your weak sauce good stuff.
Yeah, like, oh, I could have done this correctly, and here we're left with Maggie. You'll screw it up. Yeah, because she's thinking, Parker's reaching out to her, and then he's like, surprise! Evil me was reaching out to you. But then it turns out immediately that she does reach good Parker inside him anyway, and kind of, I like she takes her staff and hits him and knocks away the smoky effect. Like, I'm gonna de-effect you.
He kind of reminded me of David Arquette in the Buffy movie as far as scariness goes. Like just looked vaguely emo. He did.
Yeah.
Ooh, scary Parker.
I can't take Parker seriously as any kind of evil entity, which is like, I don't think the episode tried that hard too, because maybe they knew like this is never gonna work. So it's like, okay, like this is just gonna be a slightly silly fight where Maggie kind of just reaches him almost immediately, and he's like, yo, my bad Mag's gonna go.
Maggie, you should have learned never to trust someone from Hollywood. Shut up. I love when she talks to him in her head before she realizes that she's being tricked. She goes to this like other plane or something to talk to him via lens flare.
Mm-hmm.
Lens flares take her in and out of this. It's just their yard, isn't it? But it's more saturated.
Yeah, with kind of the glowy effect on things.
Yeah, like they're stuck in like a Britney Spears music video or something.
Yeah.
I like too before like when Maggie's doing the memory spell or the touch thing, she's like, they're like, well, how did you learn about that? And she's like, oh, like Tessa's aggro study plan. And then Harry's kind of like, I suggested many times that you study spells. Shut up, Harry. We didn't listen to you. In the beginning of this episode, too, I mean, I realized they kind of boned him, but, like, is Harry not sad about all of the elders dying?
I don't know.
Surely, like, over the, like, however many years he's been alive, and he's quite an old man now.
Yeah.
Like, surely he's developed some sort of connection, even if they betrayed him.
Yeah, you'd think, Meek. Not all elders, like maybe there were some that weren't bad, but who knows?
Some of them were chill, but they were all the masky guys that got killed pretty quick.
Yeah, stupid masky elders are the worst. They just fall for everything too. I'm here to turn myself in. Oh, we got killed. Anyway, no, seriously, this time I'm here to turn myself. Oh, dead. We got killed by a fucking glow suit. We suck.
Harry used to have poker games with them and clean them out every week. I love them. They were the worst.
Guys, I'm seriously bluffing this time. I have nothing. Oh, I got a great hand, you idiots. Oh!
Can we talk about how Harry has no luck in the world in this episode?
Yeah.
He's like a curse. Don't ever interact with Harry. You're going to get killed.
Kind of like, this is like them stealing the O'Brien must suffer from DS9 thing. It's like Harry must suffer.
Harry got put away in a mind prison for 20 years.
We'll be next.
I mean, he went to Tartarus, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got over it. So Harry is the one that helps them find Charity. He's like, oh, there was this secret garden, the Gardens of Latibra. He's like, well, she might be there. And they go conveniently 2 seconds later. They're like, hey, she's right over there.
Yeah. And it looks like that empathy plane place again, because it's like overly saturated and slightly glowy.
They spent all their money on lens flares. They can't afford anything else.
I did like how blue Harry's suit looked in this place that Charity is hanging out in.
Yeah, that was kind of a 10th Doctor David Tennant suit going on there.
Yeah, it did kind of remind me of that.
Yeah, I gotta note when we're talking about clothes, I put nothing on the fashion segment this week.
Uh-oh,
SpaghettiOs.
Blue suit.
Well, I just didn't. I liked it. I mean, there were some like nice outfits, but like I just didn't. There wasn't any standouts for me.
Charity
to put onto a list.
Charity switched to like a more of a maroon jacket because she's less evil, I guess, now. She's like, it gets a little purple in there now. I don't need just plain red. There's a little bit of good again.
The smoke screen of what's his nuts is like it's immune to red, so if she wore that, then it would just they would be able to find her. Yeah. So she has to cut it with some maroon. So she's in this garden looking for a plant that can help create this smoke screen, and but the problem is that the plant only blooms after so many years or months or something or other. So she needs Mel to use her time speed up spell to fix it. She's pretty pissed about this because they had hid this spell from her and she could have used it on Nico. And she's kind of pissed in general because Nico in this episode, she is infected by the Harbinger infection that made everyone bleed, but she also has stuff going on with her mind because of the memory spell that was used, or the history rewrite.
Yeah, I think it was just that first, and then her fiance came and took the ring, the magic protection ring off her. Then she got harbingered too.
Yeah, she was pretty pissed about Mel hanging out with her fiance.
Yeah.
Did they end up getting married? I guess it was a couple days before their wedding still, right? It was the same day?
Yeah, they didn't get married. So.
Oh, it's going to be a great honeymoon with those two.
Well, they're probably not going to get married.
I thought it was kind of unnecessarily complicated that sure, at first she is suffering the same symptoms as the Harbinger thing, but it has to do with the memory thing. It feels like they kind of tacked it on because they needed Mel to have more of a story here.
Well, they said, like, oh, she's only bleeding from her mouth, and, like, everywhere else, like, all the Harbinger infected people, they noted it was slightly different, but yeah, you're right, it is, like, overly similar.
Yeah, like, it just felt like they had too much that they had to cram in there.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that when they're in the garden and then Emo Parker shows up. Emo Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he should have strutted down the street.
Yeah, then we would really know he's evil. Just flip his hair back.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we know it's gone from bad to worse. That's where Venom comes in, you see.
Smells like stale demon in here.
Stale demon and black privilege. Black-eyed privilege.
Black-eyed privilege. That's a horrible band. I don't want to listen to Black-eyed privilege.
They sing the hit song, Where is the Hate? Where is the hate? So Maggie's fighting with him, and she gets through to him by saying, like, hey, you didn't really kill your mom, it was your dumb brother. And he's like, please vanquish me. And Mel's over there like, yeah, kill him!
Yeah.
Kill Parker!
And then she's not doing it. Maggie, why aren't you killing him? Kill him!
She had no empathy whatsoever. See, she doesn't have Maggie's powers, so that means she's devoid of empathy.
Yeah, there's another part later where Galvin's dead and Macy comes home crying, and Mel just walks over. Hey guys, what's going on? This is going on. Oh, what's the matter? Like, it takes her forever to clue in that Macy is there sobbing. Like,
this didn't relate to my stuff. Okay, before we get into, I got a lot to say about the Galvin Macy stuff. Before we get into that,
I just wanted to get into that first.
Before we get into that, we were talking about Bad Luck Harry, because this relates to the charity stuff. So. Because they get the plant for her, and then they take off into the ruins under the house to, like, create the smokescreen spell. 2 seconds later, Fiona shows up, and she's like, yeah, I found her anyway. Kills her in, like, 2 seconds and leaves.
Well, it was telegraphed. Like, Charity says, like, hey, this is dangerous to be here, because Fiona could find me here. And then, she pops right in on cue. It's like, yeah, I can.
Yeah, it really was like, we're describing it in real time. It was that quick. Mm-hmm. Just no build, and then like dead with no
fanfare,
just swept aside.
Yeah.
Fanfare. That is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, she's just like, Harry, I always left you.
And he's like, not again. Why does this keep happening to me? The same thing happens fucking later with Fiona. She's trying to raise the source and she gets black lightning, which looks just awful, by the way. Yeah. That effect was bad looking. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, hey, what the fuck? What's going on here? This hurts. And then they're like, oh yeah, Macy took your immortality away. You're dying. And Harry's like, sorry about all this. This sucks. Anyway, bye.
When she goes like, heal me, Harry. It's like, I can't do that.
When I said I'd kill you last, I lied.
What am I fighting for?
It's unclear if she died, though, isn't it? She disappeared, right? And they asked where she went?
I think she's dead.
They said, where did she go? So it's possible they're hinting something else happened there?
I don't know. I thought she was dead.
She could be dead. I don't know.
I mean, maybe they're hinting at something weird about it. But yeah, it seems like they swept Charity and Fiona away rather quickly. Maybe they're leaving it open in case they want to bring her back, but I don't know.
And it won't be any more exciting. I think they've kind of weenified her too much to be scary. I don't find they just sweep everything away in this episode very quickly.
Yeah, like it was like we're mentioned in the other episode when she's there, like, oh, what are they doing? Get out of my head, demon! Yeah. Like that, because kind of the point, you're just like, well, I can't really take her that seriously as a villain anymore.
They set up this whole plot about her wanting to destroy all of magic, and then she gone.
Yeah.
And nothing. No. All right.
Like, why isn't that maybe they will bring her back some way and have that happen, because that could be an interesting story if she got rid of magic and they had to find a way to bring it back. I
feel like they just got too many things crammed in to one season that they could have used for other things.
Yeah, definitely.
So the other plots that's going on, there's a lot of stuff with Galvin and Macy. So Galvin is the one that calls them in about all of the people bleeding from their faces with the Harbinger infection. He decided not to go to Doctors Without Borders so that he can help heal people there. And he's having this whole crisis this episode, I guess, about whether or not he's going to stay. And he figures out that all the people infected by the Harbinger, this is part of the whole prophecy to bring about the source, so he thinks he can tip the scales back by using the spell he was going to use to heal Macy to heal all of them. And as soon as he starts doing this little talk with her about like, oh, I have no regrets and I want to help you carry this burden, I was like, he's going to fucking die. Mm-hmm. He did. Mm-hmm. You don't do that speech unless you're going to kill someone. Mm-hmm. And what do you know? He does. He kills himself to sacrifice himself to heal everyone else.
Yeah, I was kind of annoyed because, like, at first, when you think he's dead, it's like, well, that's one of the few good things they have going right now, character-wise, on the show, is him and Macy.
Yeah, I was really bummed out. I thought he was gone. I thought he was going to go off to Jumanji again, you know? But they end up bringing him back by the end, so I think like they kind of saved the day there.
Yeah, pretty much. Like they're doing all the sad music and stuff. Like, oh, he's dead, but he saved these people from this evil virus. But it wasn't one of those things where I felt sad. I just felt irritated.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we've had enough time with anyone to be like grieving the character, so to speak. Yeah. It's just annoyed because it's like they were that's the only good thing so far. Yeah. Like the best part has been those two.
Yeah, you get rid of like anything you have going for your show. It's not sad except for just the fact that you think this is a good idea.
Yeah. So he ended up like saving everyone, but it was a little bit too late to stop the overall prophecy from happening. As the scales were already tipped too far, couldn't reverse it, but it did save and stop the infection from spreading.
Yeah, a bunch of people would have killed themselves, they said, or killed each other or whatever.
Yeah, it would have been the happening all over the place. Everyone's eyeing each other's lemon drinks.
What? No.
Parker, you eyeing my guitar? What? No.
What? Yes.
Quit flaunting your black-eyed privilege. So everything is kick-started after Charity's death, and the sky starts raining red. Alistair has kidnapped Maggie. When he shows up, it's pretty funny. Like, hey, Mags, I can steal you for a sec.
Yeah, it was so easy for him to do this.
Yeah. He's trying to lure out Parker because he wants to use him as the source vessel, and they're so telegraphing what's going to happen. I thought even before we started watching this episode, what was going to happen with Macy.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to make her the source. That's just... This whole Parker thing they think is a red herring, but everyone knows Parker's the lamest.
Mm-hmm.
Then no one's going to take him seriously as the source of all evil.
It's way more believable with Macy having the source power. Like, she can do that, like, super evil kind of thing, even though she's a really likable character most of the time.
Yeah, I questioned before, like, I didn't know if the actress could do evil when we were starting. I think it's just because she's good enough, Like, I bought her as both iterations of the character, and there's a distinct difference between early Macy and what they're doing now. Mm-hmm. I think like another reason that you could tell that they were going to make her the source is because she was wearing a black outfit. Yeah. She's not gonna be like in one of her like rainbow sweaters, like turning into the source. It's got to be a black jacket.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, like at first, where it's like Parker went rogue because we didn't really know that happened, or like he ran away from Daddy. He's off being bad until he like shows up and says that. Yeah, because like all he did was disappear on Maggie after he asked her to kill him. So we didn't know if he went back to Dad or not.
Yeah, I think he's just he is struggling between his dark and light side.
But it's just that could have been clearer that he wasn't just still working with him.
I guess because he knew the truth about what happened, he was less inclined to go with his source plan. Mm-hmm. It took like 2 sentences to be like, "Oh shit, what am I doing?"
Yeah. I actually still love you. Oh, what? Oh, I made a huge mistake. This will never happen again.
So Macy doesn't want this to happen, and she's like, hey, I can control this, it's cool. So she takes in the darkness, because she believes in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of a heart.
She explained, like, Alistair has Maggie tied to a tree, and, like, was it source fire or whatever is burning slowly towards her.
Yeah, the old Maggie on the train tracks.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you could save Maggie, but you have to absorb that source fire first, Parker. Mm-hmm. Like, he can't jump over it, I guess. He has to absorb it. But...
Jump over it? What, like a frog? Just...
Yeah. I mean, he's a demon. He can teleport. You're saying he can't jump over a fire?
He can't just do anything.
He can't do anything.
Demon. We don't know that he has super jumping powers. We've never seen this.
I just don't know why no one can get around. Well, he could teleport past it.
You know what happens to a frog when it's struck by lightning?
The same thing that happens to everything else.
I just thought it was kind of funny. It just looks like something you could get over if you use some magic ability to jump over it.
I suppose.
But anyway, it's just like, anyway, no, you either have to absorb it or she dies. And then just Macy, like, easiest thing ever, is like, nah, I'll do it. Zaps the knife out of Parker. Yoink! Mine now. Fire, good.
I like, too, when she sucks it in, like, Alistair's standing there like, awkward. Yeah. And he's like, anyway, I'm gonna start kissing your ass now.
Yeah. I'm your servant. I'll do whatever you want. Oh, really? dead.
Kills him brutally. Right after this happens, this should be a really disturbing moment, because it's not just that she killed a demon, because he's evil, he deserved to die, but the fact that
she burns him from the inside.
Yeah, pretty brutally. Which, by the way, again, just throwing a long story arc villain out of the way really quickly. If they do it once, it's like, oh, that's a shocking moment. She is super powerful. But they've done this through the whole episode. All 3 recurring villains gone in an instant.
Right. Yeah, if it had just been Alistair, it would have been better.
Yeah, that would have been like, oh, that's how powerful she is. It took nothing to get rid of this guy.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to say, like, I feel like they threw something away with Charity. Like, I wish it had been Mel who killed her, like, in a fit of anger about their mother, and, like, had that be a story. Like, she, she's just so angry seeing her again, and she gets blinded by that and kills her, and then, like, realizes what she's done and kind of too late. But I feel like that's better than just, Fiona popping in a portal and, I'll kill her. Bye.
I feel like maybe Mel could have accidentally killed her while, like, angrily attacking her or something. And then the beginning of, or the next episode, all of the sisters would be split up because of different reasons. Like they'd have Source Macy, they'd have Mel because she ended up causing this whole thing, and Maggie because she sang Walking on Sunshine again, and so they would all kind of be split up.
I thought it was kind of funny though, like after Macy saves Maggie, she runs past Macy, doesn't give her anything.
That's what I was, yeah,
and just goes and hugs Harry and Mel.
Yeah, you would think this would be a shocking moment, the killing Alistair there, but then Maggie is just like, whoa, Parker, are you alright? Like, runs past her again.
Yeah, there's still a lot of demon in me and stale beer, so I gotta go.
It was shoehorned in because they needed him to get out of the scene because they had to move on to other stuff, but it was really not in an appropriate place to do this.
No, yeah, it was really awkward. We'll peace out. Hang loose.
Macy's just really chill about everything. Like, she's like, let's go home. Hey, I wiped everyone's memories. I healed Nico. It's all cool. And she zaps on out of there. And Mel's like, you think we should be worried about her? No, she only turned into the source of all evil. Maybe you should be worried. I don't know.
Mel can't understand how people feel about anything.
I thought it was kind of creepy how she delivered the line after she heals Galvin. Like, she's like, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix everything.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of creepy how she is standing there too, just after she absorbed the fire and saved everyone. You're like, you didn't know what she was gonna do.
Yeah, and then she was just chill.
Yeah, but there's still an air about it that I thought worked. Like, she seems chill, but you can tell there's something slightly off about her.
Sure. Yeah, she's easily the strongest actress on the show right now. Like, she's carrying this whole thing. I'm very interested in the Macy story. I feel like they've rushed through a lot of shit, but that stuff I'm interested to see what they're gonna do in the season finale.
Yeah, overall she's been the best character. There's been a few missteps, but for the most part, she's the best.
She stopped quoting science facts all the time. This return to the dark side. Lost her roots.
Yeah. And just the weird part where it's like Galvin's off on Jumanji and she didn't seem to care that much. That was weird.
Yeah. It's been uneven for everyone, but this is a far cry from what they were doing at the beginning when, like, the Macy Galvin thing was just a snooze fest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They turned that around.
So, yeah, I don't have a fashion segment this time. So, overall, how do you think this episode stacks up?
Like I said, they threw things away too easily, but overall, I liked it. Like, mostly because I think they saved the Galvin thing and had Macy bring him back. But, I mean, I
would be more annoyed if they'd killed Galvin off.
Yeah, because, like, you don't kill off one of the few characters that's been in interesting development so far. But I think that will be really good, though, seeing Macy as the source and what she's going to do with Galvin now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where they go with that. So that's been good. I hope they address somewhat what losing all the elders means for anything in the magical world.
There's a lot of bigger questions they haven't really tiptoed into.
I think that should have some large consequences.
Yeah, there definitely should be more talk about the fallout of everything that's happened. These should feel bigger than it has felt. Mm-hmm. Like my English, this good English.
I'm worried that they're just gonna like sweep it away and say like they institute a new council of elders like really easily or something. Just be like, that'd be the lamest.
That could be
way.
interesting.
Yeah, but if
or
they...
it could be like the White Lighters have to rebuild the elders out of other White Lighters.
Yeah, if they do it as a story with some interest, but if they just go like, oh yeah, that just happened and it's kind of easy, back to status quo-y a bit like that, then I wouldn't be impressed with that.
Right now, it feels like they don't have anyone to answer to, and they didn't really do it that much with the elders when they were there, but be interesting to see if that leads to bigger mistakes in the future.
Mm-hmm. Now with like Macy being the source, like it feels like it's a missed opportunity too to not have the elders want to do something about that. Like, what is the...
Yeah, but they really have no one to challenge her now.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
They don't have anyone to challenge her, and they
Okay.
don't. That's an issue, and the power of three is not the power of three.
Mm-hmm.
With just those two. Maybe they got to get Ghost Mom in on it, form a power of three with her or something like that.
I don't know if I want Ghost Mom doing that.
Maybe there's a fourth sister. There's another one that she had illegitimately who's half angel or something. Real supernatural plot.
Yeah. They'll forget her in a cage in hell forever. Like, we'll get back to it by the time most people have given up on the show.
Whatever. All right. Do you have anything else?
Think I'm good.
All right. All right, that's it for Charmed Hard with a Vengeance this week. We'll be seeing everyone next time with the season finale. So, yeah, if you liked what you heard, appreciate it if you guys gave a subscribe or a thumbs up or a comment or maybe tweeted about this.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag Evil Jeopardy. Hashtag, what else?
Hashtag source paperwork.
Hashtag Black Eyed Privilege.
Yeah.
And we'll see you Charmanders next time. Bye!